All right. Hello, everybody. We are doing something different today. We wanted to share an experience that we had on the night of April 8th, 2017, depending on when you're watching this video. And it actually happened again 20 days later, but we want to share what happened with this initial experience. And because we don't really know what happened. We know it was contact of some kind. We just don't know whether it was ET, whether it was like spirit guides, whether it was higher self,
right?
What it was that was channeling and what made contact with us. And so it really started on that night. He goes to work in the afternoons and comes home in the morning about 1 o'clock. And that day was no different. He comes home. We usually smoke a little bit. I chill a little bit with him, and then, you know, we kind of do our thing and go to bed. But that night, he came home, we smoked. It's legal here in Colorado. He's been smoking for a while. I have been too, but I'm kind of transitioning off of it and into more of using things like cannabis, things like plant medicines in more of a ceremonial and just a different modality than what it currently is used for. But that doesn't you know, that's besides the point. Anyway, we did that. We were watching Netflix, and then I had to go to the bathroom, and that's kind of where it all started. We had already smoked, so I was already really pretty high. And what happens when I'm high, it comes more easily when I'm high, but I've experienced it several times when I was sober, where these images, kind of like sacred geometry, the sacred geometry that's on my shirt, sacred geometry, patterns, designs of all kinds, just kind of undulate, and they do this kaleidoscope thing, you know, as my eyes are closed. And so when I was in the bathroom, I was just about done, and this started happening to me. These images started, you know, popping into my head, and the next thing I hear is like, relax, relax. And I'm like, whoa, what is that? And then I hear, you know, after a minute I hear, be in the moment. And I was like, this is weird. And it's kind of like, and it wasn't like some booming voice in my head. It was kind of like me talking in my own head, but it wasn't me. I could tell it wasn't me. Something else was telling me just to relax.
Right.
And so finally I was like, okay, you know, fine, why not? You know, I'm learning how to be more in the moment. And so I figured, kind of going with that in mind, going with that train of thought, then okay, I'll relax into it. So I relaxed as much as I could. Keep in mind, I'm still on the toilet with my pants down. And I'm relaxing, and these images are going, you know, through my head. And then after a while, after a little, not very long, after a little bit, I feel the energy kind of pull my head up and kind of back. And I mean, I could definitely feel energy around my crown. It was like it was pulling me in place. And I can't exactly remember everything as it has you know, happened, like every little detail, but going into it, like I said, I was just concentrating on the images. And then earlier in the night, to kind of give this a little bit of context, earlier in the night, just as he was getting home, I was emailing a healer, and she actually has a team of guides that she works with, and I wanted to, you know, work with her to kind of see if anything came up with me. You know, she works with ETs and everything like that, so I wanted to, I was just writing her to see if I can get like a session. And so since she works with guides and everything, when I was going through this, whatever was happening on the toilet to me, when I was going through it, I felt like it was some of her guides that she was working with, although those could have been permission slips for all I know. I felt like it was some of her guides kind of doing preliminary work, what I've termed it, on me, because I was, back then I needed, I had some really bad pain in the back of my thigh, that had moved from my back into my thigh, and I was like, what is this? And so I wanted healing, so I can kind of let go and progress forward in my life. And so what happened while I was on the toilet was I felt like this team started to kind of inject kind of healing energy into those places. It was actually the back of both of my thighs, but my right thigh, kind of where the butt meets, the leg, right in that crease, that's kind of where the pain was. So I felt it kind of go in there, these like triangles of energy. Things are happening, and I'm kind of, this, I don't know how it was for you, but it was a really multi-dimensional experience for me. Because when this started happening, it was like I was still there in my mind saying, holy fuck, what is happening? This is crazy. But at the same time, I'm being kind of carried along this stream of consciousness. And it was like I was being scanned, and like I was just kind of going with the flow of whatever was coming into my mind. And it was like I said, I can only speculate. Yeah, well, that too. I can only speculate that I was being scanned or something, like they were kind of reading me and my mind, or I don't know. Honestly, we don't know anything. At this point, we're kind of blind going into it. We don't know what the hell's going on. And so I'm feeling all the energy going into me. I'm kind of feeling these guides, or whoever these entities are, saying it's okay, relax. At the same time, I'm over here in the background saying, oh my God, this is crazy. And like I said, I don't remember everything as it happened in detail, but I do remember there were parts where after that happened, my hands got really warm, and I could feel the energy kind of flowing through them. I could feel my third eye. I don't know if it was an activation or whatever happened, but I could feel it kind of open up. I could feel either light going in or light, like kind of shining outwards. I'm trying to think of what else I could feel in that experience. I do remember that on more than one occasion, in my head, me and whoever these entities or entity are, we were laughing about the fact that they caught me with my pants down, and I'm like, just au naturel, I'm in the most natural state I can be, and so, and I'm laughing out loud, but we're laughing inside of my head, and it was a really crazy experience. It was very multidimensional. I was able to catch certain waves of thought, I guess you could say, and say, oh, that's the ego. Oh, that's fear. Oh, and fear did creep up too. I remember thinking, oh, well, is this an ET contact? Well, right away I thought it was ET contact. But then a little bit after, I was thinking, oh my gosh, reptilians, and this fear kept, creeping in. And I'm thinking, no, remember to stay heart-centered. Remember to stay, loving, even if it is some kind of crazy, rogue, negative entity or whatever. I attracted it into my experience for a reason, to help me grow and to help empower myself. So why would I be afraid of it? It's just through these, human perspectives, we tend to, I know especially me, because I go into fear a lot. That's why I'm trying to tell people, don't be afraid of these experiences, because I am somebody that is afraid, but I'm coming out of it, and I'm starting to understand the fear and starting to come out of, being afraid. You want to stay in your empowered state instead of falling into fear, because if it's a negative oriented ET or entity, that's what they want you to do. It's good to stay here, heart, loving, empowered. So So after, I'm trying to think of anything else that went on during this experience. Really, it was extremely dimensional, and it was pretty crazy. Like I could, like I said, I could get those thoughts, and I could kind of decipher if it was ego or if it was fear or if it whatever it was. And meanwhile, me as I know me, I'm kind of back here. My mind is kind of like going through, like thinking separately from what's going on in the forefront. It was a really different experience. I've never had any kind of experience like this. I don't think you have. I know I haven't. At least consciously that I remember. And so there was also a point in time where I've heard, well, from what I know, that with ET experiences, ET contact, or when you are being kind of brought aboard ships or things like of that nature, when you're having ET contact, you will be placed in a state of where you can't move. Basically, I don't even know what the hell to call that.
Sedation.
No, well,
In
not
a sense.
well, yeah, just not basically not being able to move, and
Paralysis.
yeah, kind of paralysis, where it kind of freaks us out from our limited human perspective. We're like, oh fuck, I can't move. What the fuck's happening? And people get freaked out, and a lot of people experience that. But anyway, I know that. So we know this, right? We know that going into it, there's sometimes they kind of paralyze you so that you're not moving because, like I said, from this limited human perspective, fear can start arising. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Let me get out of here. And then you're flailing all about, and you from this limited human perspective don't understand, but from a higher perspective, you agree to this on some level. This human form, we're like, no, I didn't. But on a higher level, we may have. On a soul level, a level that we don't consciously remember, we probably did. That's usually what draws these into us. But let me take this off. It's getting kind of warm. But so I remember, I don't know how I ended up like this, but I had ended up in sort of a prayer position. And then by this time, I was like hunched all the way over. I don't know how much you can see me, but I was hunched all the way over on the toilet with my pants down. And so since I was hunched all the way over, I remember asking inside of my head, hey, or at least making the observation. I don't even remember if I asked or if it was just an observation, like, hey, my body's all like crumpled up and crazy over here. Will you pick it up? Will you please, help me sit upright? And sure enough, very slowly, I started to I could feel the energy. It was energy that was picking me up and kind of just positioning me back into sitting upright on the toilet. And I remember after that, like when I could feel my back kind of starting to curve again, the energy would push me back up and support me. It was a really crazy experience in the bathroom on my end. And then, oh, I was going to say where I was saying when I was talking about being immobile and being paralyzed, what I was going to say there was that there was a couple times where I was experimenting, because I know that in these states of being, states of consciousness, they kind of paralyze us so we can't move and we're not flailing about like kids. I felt a couple times I was trying to kind of test those boundaries. Nothing big, because I am already knowledgeable about these things. I already know, don't try to flail about. You're fine. You're okay. You're not gonna die. And so I was just trying to kind of test the boundaries a little bit, and I really couldn't move. And so I was trying to get out of there. I mean, at this, during this whole experience, I'm thinking, crap, how long have I been in here? Crap, how long have I been in here? Crap, how long have I been in here? And I could hear footsteps, every now and then from somebody walking. I don't know if it's him or somebody walking in the hall. I could hear things going on outside of me. I was very, very conscious of what was going on. It was just this energy was here and present, and I wasn't really able to move. And it wasn't a scary experience for me. I was just like, what the fuck is this? This is awesome! Um, so I finally, after I don't know how long, I finally was kind of able, because by this point, I'm thinking, I don't know how long I've been in here. I don't want him to come and knock on the door and kind of like snap me out of it, or, kind of interrupt the flow of whatever was going on. It's like, I gotta get back to the room. I gotta get back to the room. I wanted to get back to share with him what was happening, but I didn't want him to like come along and like ruin it. So I like wanted to ruin it myself, I guess. I don't know. So I finally kind of woke myself up out of it, and I could move. Got up, washed my hands, got out of there, went into the room, and that's where he said I came in like Mr. Burns.
Wide-eyed, just kind of there but not there, you know what I mean? Like, just kind of in her own little space, her own little energetic vibration.
Yeah.
And
you want to explain the Mr. Burns thing? So the generations that are younger than us that haven't watched The Simpsons, like the first couple seasons, know what the hell we're talking about?
I'm not exactly sure what episode it is, but there's an episode where Mr. Burns comes walking out of the forest, and he's like glowing. He's got this kind of really spaced out, really medicated look to him.
He's got big eyes.
Right.
He's glowing.
Right, and he's all about love, and
He looks like an alien. Everybody mistakes him for an alien. But he brings love.
Right.
So he says that's what I came into the room looking like. I'm like, ha, buzzed out.
Right. She asked me, she's like, babe, how long have I been gone? And that's when I noticed, I'm like, well, she's been gone for a little while now, so I tell her, I'm like, you've been gone for a little bit, and then she starts telling me everything that's happened. And as she's telling me, I can feel the energy coming off of her. And after a little bit of kind of feeling it and unintentionally taking it on, it's my whole body from head to toe started to cramp, I guess, in a sense.
Oh, hold on. Well, you're saying that. Well, the thing is as he's starting to go into this, I'm starting to tell him, and I'm starting to go back into it.
Right.
And so we're starting to go, both of us separately, go back into our own things simultaneously.
This vibration, this channel, so to speak. And yeah, so she's kind of relaxed on the couch, and I'm sitting on the chair. And like I said, it felt like pins and needles throughout my whole body. Like my whole body started cramping up, and I could feel it, and it started to hurt. Not just like a little cramp, like my foot's asleep. I'm talking about like my whole body. It just hurt so bad, put me in tears. Like I couldn't move. I was stuck. Like it hurt really, really bad. I had tears coming out my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
There was
you can see that in the video too.
There was a point there where I felt like I couldn't even blink. Like that's how paralyzed I was. Like my eyelids didn't even close. And it kind of felt like I was gonna pass out. And I thought that I had passed out. And
yeah, no.
because in my head, it was more like a dream. Everything was just kind of became a dream, and it felt like I was sleeping, almost like a lucid dream. Like I could see what was going on. I was conscious that it was a dream that I was in, and so I guess I convinced myself that that's what was going on. It was a dream, And inside my dream, I could see these beings. Had to have been 100 feet tall. They were kind of lanky, and if you've ever been in downtown Denver, there's these statues that they have of these two people dancing, and they're huge. They're huge, tall statues of these really skinny people with no faces. They're just blank figures.
Mm-hmm.
and you can see how they're dancing downtown. Well, in my dream, that's what these people look like. They're really, really tall, like tall as buildings. There's no face. They kind of got like I don't like a smoky look to them. Their presence is kind of filtered, and I can't understand a word they're saying. Nothing. I can't understand anything that they're saying. And like I said, it kind of felt like a dream. Every once in a while, as they're talking, I could hear my name. I can understand, little things here and there, but it wasn't like somebody was speaking another language that I've heard. It was like gibberish, like Charlie Brown, the wah 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 wah, that kind of thing. And after that, I don't really remember much. I remember kind of waking and still hurting, and there was a point where she like tried to touch me on my chest.
Here on his
Yeah,
chest.
on my chest, and
He wasn't having that.
I could feel her. Like, it just hurt so bad.
I had a lot of energy running through me, so I was
Right.
I'm gonna burn out a circuit.
Like I said, it hurt really bad. And yeah, what happened after that? Do you remember?
Well, as he's simultaneously going into this and experiencing, like, he doesn't even remember a lot of what happened and what I remember. So as he's experiencing that, like I said, I was going back into my own channeling. I was like, well, I think it wants to come through now. Because I started to tell him about it, but then I like could feel the energy like really ramping up in my body where I was shaking. I'm like, oh, I think it wants to come through. And I could and so I kind of just closed my eyes, and I think that's when I sat down, kind of like, I don't know if you can see that, but I sat down with one leg, with my butt on the seat, and one of my legs, folded underneath, but my other leg was on the floor. And when I started going back into it, I could hear directions that I kept, like directions for me. It's like, okay, so sit down, cross your legs, and do this. Basically, I don't remember what the mudras are, but what they did was, I don't remember which way it was. I think it was that, and then that way. It was not the same, but it was a little different. And then I could feel directions coming through, and I was like asking, like I was doubting it. I was like, "Are you sure? Is this what you really want me to do? I'm not understanding." It wasn't a clear signal, I guess, enough for me to be like, like a big booming. What do I expect? A big booming voice in my head to sit down, cross your leg. I don't know what I was expecting, but it was very, very subtle. Like, it was like a thought. Like, okay, sit down, cross your legs, do the mudras, and we can begin, or something like that. And I was just doubting it so much that the energy finally brought my leg up, sat me cross-legged, did the mudras, and then it started kind of wanting to come through. But the thing is it couldn't really come through because I could feel myself resisting it. I could feel myself questioning it, basically doubting, well, is this what I'm supposed to say? Is this what I'm supposed to do? And so I could feel, I can't remember exactly what the order of what had happened, because he was gone. He was like passed out in his own little world by now. But I can't remember if it was, something was coming through me. And since we don't have it on camera, and he wasn't conscious enough to remember, it was something to the effect of, like, speaking about me, this vessel has like too much resistance for us to come through, to allow us to come through. It's not, like, I was resisting, I was doubting it. I was like, I don't know what you're talking about, I don't know what to do. And so, yeah, it kind of was just like, I was kind of ruining the experience, but I've never been through this. I don't know what to do. And so I think it was after that, it kind of started to, ask, do you have any questions? Now that I think about it, it might have been asking me, because you can do these things alone with yourself. But it's easier when you have somebody there to pull information through and to get, and to,
Ask questions.
you know, ask questions, remember what's happened, record what's going on. But I knew back in my mind, you know, remember I'm back here. I'm like, no, I want to get this on tape because this is fucking crazy. Like, what's going on here? And so I wanted to get it on tape, and I'm like, I remember as I was going into it, I was like, I was trying to tell you, I was coming through very, very, I was trying to come through over them, whatever it was. I was like, you know, babe, camera, film, you know, it was trying to come out. Like, I was trying to come out. You could see that this is such a weird experience to try to explain to somebody, to explain to people.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, how can you explain something that most people haven't gone through? But it was trying to tell me, you know, like, you know, oh, I was trying to tell him, you know, film, and I remember never hearing the hearing the beep of the camera come on. So I was like, well, I don't think he's recording. And then, you know, whatever entity it was like, you know, do you want to ask questions? Does he want to ask questions? And then when I didn't hear any kind of response, I was like, wait a minute, he's not responding. What's going on with him? And so that's when I kind of brought myself out of that whole kind of trance. And I was like, okay, where is he? And so he was sitting on the chair, slumped over with his eyes wide open. And I'm like, my first reaction was like, oh my God, what's going on? My first reaction was fear. My first reaction was like, oh my God, what, does he need to go to the hospital? What's going on? And then again, the whatever energy it was, whatever entities it was telling me, it is okay. Don't be afraid. It's just, he's going through whatever he needs to go through right now, basically. It's going to be okay to just let it kind of happen, and to be centered about it. And so, as much as that fear kept pinging real bad, and I was like, okay, it's okay. We don't have to go to the emergency room. We're good.
Explain that to the doctor.
Yeah, exactly. How are you going to explain that to any kind of modern day doctors? They'll put you in a psych ward real quick.
Think you're crazy.
Yeah. And
I'm not crazy.
no, we're definitely not crazy because we both experienced this. So he's going through it. I kind of lean him back into the chair because he was like over here like this with his eyes wide open. I lean him back into the chair. I kind of let him, okay, whatever. Meanwhile, I still have energy running through me. Oh yeah, that's the part where, that was when I was like, oh my God, are you okay, babe? That's when I was touching his chest, and that's when he was saying, he kind of came out of the trance he was in, like just enough to say, like, don't touch him. There was too much energy running through me, and I'm gonna short out him or something's going on. So I was like, don't touch me. I'm okay. So I kind of sit him back in the chair, lean him back, and meanwhile, like I said, the energy and the prompts in my head are still going on, like, do this, do that. So I'm kind of sitting there, and I'm hearing, you know, get a notebook. Maybe you can automatic write. Get a notebook. Maybe you can automatic write. Get a notebook. So I'm like, should I really? I don't know. Should I really? I don't know. Should I really? I don't know. So that's what I'm doing in my head, and that's how we create resistance. You don't just let it flow. But I finally get up, get a pen, get a notebook. I put the little table in front of me, and I kind of close my eyes, see if, you know, anything will come out, if I can automatic write, and nothing ever ended up coming out. But after that, I remember laying back down on the bed to see if I could, like, channel back in, or to kind of reconnect with the energy and see if, I don't know. So I kind of made an intention to connect with him, because he still wasn't out of it, or he was out of it. He wasn't there. And so I kind of made the intention as I lay down, okay, I want to get a hold of Marty. I want to get a hold of him and see if I can talk to him at all. So I kind of laid down, closed my eyes, And it was funny because I don't remember if it was almost instantaneously, but I remember it didn't take very long for me to kind of think about you, and then all of a sudden I could feel the channel of energy from my being, from my consciousness into his consciousness, and then I was like, babe, I need you to tell me you're okay. I was like, but I need you to verbally tell me. I need you to tell me vocally, because I can't, I need to know for sure you're okay, your physical body's okay. So that's when he started talking out loud. And I don't remember what you said. I don't exactly remember what you said. He sure as hell don't remember what the hell he said, because he doesn't even remember the telepathic link. But he started saying something. I was like, and I could hear him audibly. I was like, oh, okay. And then I remember we're kind of having this short conversation inside our head, like telepathically, not telepathically, but telepathically. And we were just like, because I remember us saying like I remember me telling you like, this is fucking crazy, and like we're both laughing. Inside my head I could hear us, like we're both laughing. I can't remember if we were laughing out loud too, because I have very little, like, I don't remember everything. He has very little remembrance, so he basically only remembers his experience. I remember a little bit more, but there's a lot I still don't remember. But after that's when I think and I don't remember how he came out of it, but I remember after I got the confirmation that he was okay, I like sat up and I was okay. I was like, okay, he's okay. And then I think sometime after that, he either started talking or he opened his eyes. I don't remember, but he started talking. He started going into a channeling state. And most people that will be drawn to this video will know what channeling is. If you don't know what channeling is, do a little bit of research. Channeling is just a state that we can all go into, where we're kind of opening up, we're raising our own vibration in a very conscious manner, to open up to, consciousness that is there wanting to connect with us.
Right.
That's high,
connection to our higher self, or
guides,
entities, guides, things of that
whatever.
nature.
Yeah.
Right.
And yes, people can contact, lower, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Anyway.
So he started going into a channeling state, started talking, and see, I don't remember if I knew that it wasn't you or if I thought it was you at first. I don't remember. I just remember things started coming through, and I started talking to it, and I was like, and I know as much, I don't know much about, going into channeling for myself, but I know, like, in a state that, like, if you want to be a channel, it's easier, like we were talking about before, it's easier to have somebody there to pull information through. Right. So I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll pull information through. So I started talking to this entity, identified it. Oh, well, it really actually didn't have an identity. I asked for a name, and it picked one out. You'll see in the video. Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
It all gets established once you start watching the channeling video.
And the video is all transcribed because it was really, really late at night. Yeah. It was very quiet. It was the volume, like he was speaking in almost like breathy whispers almost. So we transcribed the video so that sometimes you can hear the words coming out, but his lips don't move at all. So we transcribed it, and so you can actually hear it and go back and listen to it. I recommend listening to it with headphones, definitely, because otherwise you really won't be able to hear it.
Yeah, so it's a little difficult to hear, but a good video nonetheless.
Yeah.
And it's like she said, right as she decided to pull information and whatnot, she started asking questions, and that's kind of where the video picks up.
Yeah.
It's a little bit after. There's a little bit that she didn't capture.
Yeah. I don't even know how long we were talking before that. Maybe 5-6 minutes that I didn't capture.
Right.
But because you got to understand, at the time I was still having crazy energy going through me, and I was like, well, if I reach for my camera, will he try to, like, you know, stop me and be like, get all crazy? And then that was the fear, obviously. But I finally got my camera, and I was like, okay, we're recording this because this is a crazy experience we've never had before, and I want to share it, and I want proof that it happened. So yeah, that's kind of where the channeling picks up, is at the end of this video. There's probably like some little details that we left out and that I don't remember. I don't remember everything. I know you don't remember very much. I came into it. You came into it like as it was had already started and been done. You know,
ball was already rolling.
And then he kind of, I'm like, hey, you know, I come into the room. And I'm like, energy. I don't know what happened, but it's like, yeah.
Not sure how it all kind of went down, but that's basically our explanation of the precursor to the channeling experience video. So definitely check that out. If you're watching this, I really hope that you watch this channeling video and leave a comment, question, something. Make sure you subscribe to us over on Infinite Love on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really hope you guys check it out.
Yeah, definitely. I want to start sharing my experiences because, like I said, this happened again 20 days later. It was a little different. We might put that on there and, you know, put it on the end of this video as well. I don't know. There wasn't really much because this time it was me, but like I said, there's too much resistance within me, so it really couldn't come out. And I was thinking maybe when I touched him that first time, that was the energy transfer into him. Like that's where the entity or whatever could come through him. I don't know, because this time I didn't touch him at all, and there was no channeling, but it was definitely trying to come through me. And after all of these experiences, it's already, what is it? It's May. It's almost June as we're recording this, because this is May 22nd or May 23rd or something like that right now. And I've picked up a book, you know, to learn how to channel actually consciously and get more of a basis of understanding as to what's going on here, and maybe start channeling for myself and share those experiences with you, because in this time, I think this is when it's starting to really change, and this channeling phenomena is actually going to become way more commonplace than
Right.
you know, than anything. And you know, like channeling, something like channeling can have a fear around it, and I want people to see somebody that has gone through a lot of fear and that is actually processing and working through a lot of fear in her life and her own being, to actually take that, you know, have an experience like this that can be frightening and can be scary, and take this experience and actually show others that it's not as scary as we're making it out to be. It's the boogeyman's inside of our head that are making it that way. It's a process of understanding what's going on. And so, yeah, I want to share more of my experiences.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah. I think that's it.
I think that's about all I got.
Yeah. So please check it out. Feel free to, well, this video is well,
So that's about all I got.
that's all he has.
Make sure you check out the other videos that we got. I really hope you
Yeah.
do check out the channeling video, and like,
Well,
subscribe, share,
yeah.
all of this. You know, could really use some support. And
Yeah. The video will
every
be
dimension.
on the end of this video, and it'll be a super long video, but it'll be well worth the watch.
Yes.
Definitely.
Check it out.
Yeah. See you. Peace. Love. To dose that.
Like we said, you know, the first couple minutes got cut off, so
Yeah, we don't know what happened here.
the video's kind of just jumping in.
Yeah.
Feel suited. Weak. Very weak.
Miss, who am I speaking with?
Angelica.
Angelica is the name of this vessel.
No. It's Marty. Martin.
Marty Martin.
Marty or Martin. Whichever you prefer. Yeah.
Angelica is you.
Yes.
This vessel is
Weak. Yes. That's why I love it.
everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
I can see why you would want to distance yourself from connection
Yeah.
such as this.
Yes. Very much so.
Bridget is here with us. Looks like an
All right, so when they said like an infant, I say they because, like I said, it was like a dream to me, and I'm assuming, I mean that was the part of the dream where, that's the reason why they seemed so tall, and why I felt like, like I was this big, and also part of the reason why I probably couldn't understand them.
But like an infant. Yeah. That's crazy.
Kind of self-explanatory, you think?
Yes. So much. Yes. Very much so.
He holds so
He says that, yeah, I know. I can only imagine. I don't know how to half of it. That's why I love him. Thank you. With whom am I speaking? Please? Or what can I call you?
Never been asked that question.
Happy to be your first, I guess.
So right here, I was just trying to establish some kind of, I guess, rapport. Like, what is your name? Like they asked me what my name was, or I think they were referring to him, but I'm not sure. But I was just trying to establish some kind of connection as to who are you, where do you come from, except for I still have all this energy running through me. I'm still kind of way spacey. I'm way, it's kind of hard to think in this kind of stage. So continue.
Would you prefer to call me?
Nothing comes to mind. I don't know.
That is a very long
Totally.
How about Anna?
Anna?
That is what is calling to me.
Does it mean anything?
Light.
Light? It means light?
The brightest at which light can be.
The brightest at which light can be? That's what it means?
Yes.
That is amazing. I love it. Yes. I love it.
This body also needs to nourish a more natural manner.
Yeah. I agree. I know, but he does his best. I feed him a little bit here and there. The rest is up to him.
That is the reason.
Reason?
reason for weak connection.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely it is. Should I tell him to... What should I tell him to do? Or suggest for him to do?
I do not know your nourishment, so I cannot provide dietary advisory.
Thank you anyway. Is there anything that you need to tell us? Either of us?
I am with you all the time.
With Martin or with who?
Infinite, very weak. It is growing dark, so you need light. I am there.
The brightest at which light can be. That's such a beautiful name. Anna. Can you explain what is kind of happening to us and what we are feeling?
Your planet is growing darker and darker. And I cannot intervene until the darkest. But I surround you with love. You must do the same.
Surround ourselves with love? Or yeah. Okay. Thank you for being here. Will you come again?
Stronger connection.
Yes. I will let him know. He needs a stronger connection. Or you can use me. It doesn't matter. I know I resist. I can feel it. I am. I will. I will. I know. In a way. I can feel it. Thank you. Stay right there. It's just. So I don't. Yeah, you seen what just happened, and gotta. Yeah, get him.
So I don't really remember coming out of it or anything like that, but I do remember that this whole experience after watching the video and just kind of seeing things on my end and then seeing what she saw on the video's end, it scared the crap out of me. You know, like it's not something that you go through every day. It's not something that you really, you know, intentionally go for coherently. And when you do, you better make sure that it's something that you're really willing to do, because if not, it's an experience like no other.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can say that there's drugs that'll do the same thing, that'll help you, and I know that there are, you know, but man, to feel something like that and have it run through your system and
Ooh. Crazy
you know
energy.
all of the energy, it just kind of, it'll wake you up.
I have never felt that kind of energy. I don't know about you, but I have never felt that kind of energy
Yeah.
run through my body.
Not like that, you know, and it was pretty eye-opening. Something I definitely want to maybe, like I said, coherently look into, like really, yeah, consciously and really thoughtfully put some energy into. You know,
Well, we have the book, so you can read it.
and the book is only the beginning.
Right. It's really, I think this was to get us into learning what the hell is there, so that it was like the carrot. I think it's of it as the carrot. Come on, guys. Come on.
Kind of, yeah.
To get us, like, intrigued enough to go into it. And were you done? Because I wanted to say the last.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything.
The thing I wanted to say about the afterthoughts and like just after it, because it was a pretty, I won't say, yeah, it was intense. It was a pretty intense experience and powerful, like life-changing, and to process through the next couple days. But from this, because I felt that they were loving beings. I know it scared the shit out of you, but that was probably because I passed it on to him and we didn't realize what was going on. I don't know. That's just kind of me, I don't know, pulling things out of my ass. I don't know. It could be things that I'm feeling, but the thing I wanted to say was at least 2 to 3 days after this whole experience, because I said it was like really, really heart-centered, and I felt a lot of love coming. I was buzzed. I was buzzed off of my butt for the next 2 to 3 days afterwards. I was like, love, and like I couldn't, because I've been, right now it's very, very high energy, and people are triggered like that, and me too, because all of these things are coming up, all these subconscious, unconscious things are coming up, right? Well, for those 2 or 3 days afterwards, I was completely in a heart-centered space. Nothing triggered me. I was completely buzzed out of my mind with crazy love energy after this experience, after the first experience. I don't know if you experienced anything like that. I did. I was like,
You know, what I felt, I may not have been as strong as what you did, but you know, there was definitely something there where I felt like getting things done. You know, like I was exactly where I was supposed to be.
right, right,
But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. This is definitely a crazy experience, and one I will never forget. 'Cause we have proof, number one, but it was just amazingly life. Like, that's something you never forget. You're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, it'll always be with me forever.
And most of the people that we're around don't even know what we've experienced, and they'll probably find out as everybody finds out. There's only like literally like 3 people we've told and shared this. Well, actually, one person that shared the entire experience with,
Yeah.
and then he even get to see the video. So like,
Right.
we're the only people that really know everything that happened, and we haven't really shared it yet. So we're looking forward to see what happens when we share this out with our friends, our family, our
Right.
people that we don't know.
And please leave a reaction, a comment, something. You know, let us know
Yeah.
what you think.
Yeah.
And please don't forget to subscribe and share.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's
I think that's
it.
about it too. I guess until next time.
Yeah. Peace and love.
Yeah.
Infinite love.